with four viewers on Twitch, only four, and then went up to 3,000 concurrent viewers on Twitch, and we're going to talk about his story. But Perrin, I'm just trying to crack the code here. We're looking at his Twitch numbers right now. Can you see any sort of pattern or reason why SmallAnt would have grown from 4 to 3,000? I just can't spot the trend.
Okay, it's really hard to spot. Bear with me. Here's the Twitch chart. Take a look. Here's his YouTube chart.
Okay.
Here's his Twitch chart.
Twitch chart.
Here's his YouTube chart. Here's his
Okay,
Twitch
one more
chart.
time.
Here's his YouTube chart.
Okay, so are you... I don't get it. We'll have to figure it out in this episode of the Digital Drop Podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Restream. Why live stream to one platform when you can simultaneously live stream to every platform to discover new audiences faster using Restream.io? And here is the Reddit post from SmallAnt telling his story of how he streamed for 2 years to 4 viewers, changed things up a little bit, and is now streaming to 3,000 viewers on Twitch. This is his story. Perrin, walk us through what he has to say about how he grew from teeny tiny eensy weensy streamer to a big boy streamer.
All right, so he says in this Reddit post, from 2016 to mid 2017, I streamed Little Big Planet 3 and some variety content. Late 2017 and the start of 2018, I tried out some Super Mario Odyssey speedrunning. For this period, I had around an average of 4 viewers. In late 2018, I decided to put more effort into my stream to explore some new ideas, start a YouTube channel, etc. Over the course of 2019 and the start of this year, I grew a YouTube channel to 550,000 plus subscribers, a Twitch channel to 250,000 plus followers with a concurrent viewership of 3,000 plus viewers and a fantastic community around them. Ask me anything. So basically, he did something and changed his strategy. What did he do? Because whatever he did, he started blowing up on both YouTube and Twitch. And he went from streaming to pretty much nobody to over 3,000 in less than a year from changing his strategy, which is amazing growth. That's the kind of thing that we want to lock into and study. This is what we've been talking about in the past episodes, AWOL.
That's right, and really quick shout out to those that watched live. Casual Nerd Jason just said you had your best gaming stream this morning. Being an English-speaking streamer at 5 a.m. helped you stand out. Very nice. Good job being unique, changing things up with your schedule. That's great. So let's go ahead and take a look at that correlation you were just talking about a moment ago. How this guy, SmallAnt, went from 4 viewers to 3,000. If it wasn't abundantly clear, you can see the upward trend in his Twitch numbers right here from January 2019 with his average viewers up to the end of the year, going up drastically, right? From basically no viewers up to thousands of concurrent viewers on average. Then when we go look at his YouTube numbers, when we go to Social Blade, you're seeing the same trend happen over the same period of time. And so we wanted to make sure that we aren't just talking about this on the podcast, and it's not just you hearing it from us over and over and over again, that you have to. It is absolutely mandatory as a streamer. If you want to become a big streamer, you need to grow a YouTube channel to drive traffic over to your stream. Here's yet another example with somebody going from nothing to giant streamer overnight with that YouTube strategy. Perrin, I mean, really. And if you look at what he said in his own post there, this is the #1 success factor from him. It wasn't engage with your community and, have great overlays, right? It's freaking simple.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it's right when he started his YouTube channel, January 2019. At the start of the new year and 2019, he started YouTube. You can see he has over here, he's got only 1,263 subscribers to start. And from that point, I mean, he also executed a very solid YouTube strategy. We have to say, because you can see the growth in views pretty substantially, almost month over month, until he hits kind of into September in the past 3 months, where he just starts skyrocketing because he's doing a really, really good strategy. So he started out the gate knowing what he was doing on YouTube. So let's take a look at that real quick and see. We can't go back as far as 3 years, so we can't see. Looks like he removed his failed videos. So he was talking about Little Big Planet 3. We don't see any of that on here. He most likely went back and removed it. which is a
Well,
strategy.
really quick, hit pause button on that, because a lot of folks out there that go look for, you see what happened here? You only see videos going 2 years back. But in his Reddit post, he said he was going back to 2017 or so, and he was failing with Little Big Planet and what have you. So really quick note for everybody out there that looks at the Ninjas, the Dr. Disrespects, the SmallAnts, the PewDiePies, all the big guys today. When you see their success on the platform today, often they delete or private all of their failed attempts and experiments from the past off of their channel. And all you can see on their channel is the successful videos that they have posted. And so you don't actually get to see all the failure and all the experimentation that was required for them to get to where they're at today. SmallAnt in the Reddit post said that he was doing all sorts of content 3 to 4 years ago that wasn't working in the post. Late 2017, early 2018, or Little Big Planet, I'm sorry, from 2016 to 2017. But that content is no longer available on the internet. You only see the stuff that's getting hundreds of thousands of views or millions of views on his channel. So he failed for years, is the point here. Years. He failed for years. And then he started succeeding. Tom Nash in chat said, I hid my failed videos as well, says Tom Nash. Tom, I know you did that. We talked about it on the podcast one time. What are you ashamed of, Tom? So let's talk about what SmallAnt, talk about what SmallAnt did on the channel over time. Even 2 years ago, he was getting videos there, Andrew Perrin, that only had, 36,000 views, 40,000 views. So what changed over time here that really blew up his channel? This change up he's referring to in his Reddit post that really blew things up.
Yeah, so this change up, we want to be looking for this change up at about the 1 year ago mark. So we should see. So 2 years ago, he started with he said he was doing Super Mario Odyssey speedrunning, which you can see what he was doing here. The thumbnails are like just random zoomed out screen caps from the game and a white text. So these are
you can't tell what's going on there. Like the characters aren't large enough. You can't really, he's like showing like the settings, the levels, but like nothing's really standing out there. It's not popping at all. These thumbnails are very weak.
His thumbnail game is pretty bad 2 years ago, and so looks like he was struggling with that. And then he starts to change. He started thinking, "Oh, I'm going to throw myself into the thumbnails right here." And the first one he did has 500,000 views. The second one he did has 500,000 views.
That's crazy.
The third one, now he adds the logo of the game. He adds blindfolded ? Points to him, and it's him blindfolded playing the game. This is a compelling thumbnail.
Okay, really quick, hit the pause button. So if you scroll down a little bit, all of the content below was about the things. It was about the advanced mech. It was about the turnip thing. It was about the snowdram. It was about the scooter clip, etc. When his videos weren't that successful, they're getting 5,000, 11,000, 20,000 views per video. Then as soon as he made his channel about him going through challenges, him going on speed runs, him adding extra value to the content, that's where the change happened. He added his face to the thumbnails, and he added his own personal experience to the channel to really increase interest. And so I've talked about this a million times, and with Tom Nash here, Tom's heard me say it 1 trillion times. There are only certain things that people will click for on YouTube channels. And one of those values that they'll click for is a challenge. People love to see other people overcoming adversity. So a speed run is a challenge to do the game super fast. Trying to be third person in a game that's normally first person, or vice versa, or trying to play Overwatch using only bananas, or whatever it may be. Putting yourself through a challenge will let your audience go on a journey with you from act 1 of the video of you setting up the challenge, act 2 of the video, you struggling to complete the challenge, and then act 3, the conclusion of whether you beat the challenge or not. It's literally storytelling inside of a video, and human beings absorb information in the form of stories better than any other form. And that's why challenge videos work so well. So the point of talking about this is a shift that all of you guys can take inspiration from. His content was about the game before he was successful. It was about the game before he blew up. Then once he made the shift to making it about him playing the game, a total shift in the content, it blew up to hundreds of thousands of views. I just wanted to make sure that was very, very clear here. That's where the change happened. Please continue, Perrin.
All right, so let's continue on our journey scrolling upwards. So we're still at 2 years ago, and he's already hitting he already hit almost 500,000 views on his first 2 attempts, which I imagine he deleted some failed attempts here as well.
No
And
doubt.
now we've gotten to 1 year, 1 year ago, which is about the time when we start watching his Twitch trend up, if you recall. And even the third one in, it's another blindfolded video. This time that concept hit 2.2 million views 1 year ago. So he found a winner, and he hit it hard. He's like, oh, as soon as he did that video, notice that first one he did was successful. He hit that concept hard, and he redid it again and again and again.
Challenges, man.
And it worked.
Blindfolded. He was the first to beat the game blindfolded. The first. So that's extra value. He's basically saying, I'm the best. It's best value. So he's not only doing a challenge, he's the first. He's the best person to ever do this challenge. And also there could be some unique value here. How many people actually played this game with a blindfold on? So you get best value, unique value, and challenge value all in one video there with that blindfolded video. And boom, 2.2 million views. So much value for the viewers, they had to click. And so around this time, about a year ago then, this is when we're looking at the timeline there with the Twitch and the YouTube numbers, Perrin, where things start to arc up, not just on the YouTube channel. We're looking at the YouTube channel, but they start to arc up right there on the Twitch channel as well. He's going, 100 concurrent viewers. I mean, walk us through this. As soon as these videos start getting millions of views, aren't you seeing like a direct proportional increase in concurrence on Twitch too?
I mean, if you just if you scroll along here, his average viewers are hover between 11 and 30 or so until this point. Until if we look at this point 1 year ago, where he hits 2.2 million views, and you can see average viewers 74, average viewers 102, average viewers 151. Look how quick the growth is. 188, wow. 350, 437. Wow. Look how quick this rises. And as we continue closer to 2020, 481, doubling to 807 in a month or two. I think it's by 2 months. In 2 months, doubling his concurrent viewership. Why is that happening? Because of his YouTube videos. And if we keep looking through here 1 year ago, let's get down to, he's hitting over 1 million views on some of these, and he's at 500,000 for most of them at the very least. Now at this point, it's interesting to see, he does Super Mario Odyssey for a while. He does kind of dive back into a little bit of the old method, but gets a lot of views on it now, because now that he's established himself as kind of an authority on skilled play in Super Mario Odyssey, he can do some more, hey, let's look specifically at a gameplay thing. Now that strategy kind of works a little bit because he has traction and people care who he is now. And he shifts then, and he makes a crucial shift to Zelda Breath of the Wild when it came into play, or actually not. I think this was well post-launch, actually, because this is just 1 year ago.
I'm sorry to keep hitting the pause button on you, Perrin, but there's another great point here about what happened leading up to this point, and Tom Nash is pointing this out in chat as well. Tom Nash on his channel was doing guru busting. He's live right now on Blitzarian, the Instagram guy that has sex with every woman and has the life you wish you had. That's his persona. Once one video did really well with him busting that guru, he's saying he did 12 videos in a row. That blew his channel up, and he got millions of views. And so the point he's trying to make from his own experience, and it's the point that we're seeing here with SmallAnt as well. Once you find something that works way better than everything else on your channel, stop doing everything else and double, triple, quadruple down on that concept over and over and over and over and over again. And that's exactly what we saw SmallAnt do here. He didn't mix in those old garbage videos that didn't perform as well with these, right? He just put that strategy aside and decided to double down on what's truly working. And so that's something that all of you guys need to remember. And there's one other comment I want to bring up right here from Arsenal Gaming. He is a non-profit charity streamer, and he's done over 20,000 in live donations to non-profits in the last 5 months. And he started streaming 5 months ago, and our podcast helped him come up with this strategy. So Digital Drop Podcast, Perrin, I wanted to share this with you, has helped this guy grow and run a non-profit that's done 20,000 for charity. Arsenal Gaming. Very nice good, comment. Man. Thank you for that comment, man. 20,000 to charity in 5 months. Man, you are a total boss. I just wanted to shout you out, dude. Using your streaming powers for good, using the digital drop for good. That's great. All right. So that was the initial thing that he did, right? He found this new challenge format and he doubled down on it to grow his channel. But then there was another shift that took it to a whole nother level. I'm teeing you up now. Go ahead, Perrin.
Yeah, so he went back into, remember he did a foray into speedrunning with Super Mario Odyssey before. He jumped to Zelda Breath of the Wild, which was a huge trend. It still kind of is big. And it's basically what we call an ever trend. So there are certain trends on the internet, especially in games, that last over and over in perpetuity, it seems like. And those are Pokemon, those are Minecraft now, Zelda of any variety. And basically, you know what I'm talking about. These
Call
are
of
trends.
Duty.
Call of Duty. These are trends where just new games in that vertical come out all the time. And it just has a huge community that's been around for a decade or more. And, you know, what Zelda has been around since the mid 80s. So Zelda is here to stay. And so he hits a mega trend. And he started with Mario, which is also an ever trend as well. And he just continues to hit ever trends really hard with his strategy of, I'm going to bring a unique angle, a challenge angle to it. So he brings speedrunning to it. He also starts doing personal videos and adding his celebrity crush.
My celebrity crush. Okay. Drop by the stream.
Which makes it interesting because, like, okay, now that people kind of care about who he is and what his skill is, like, now let's learn a little bit more about him. And he puts that into his content. He finds something personal to inject into his content so people can be, so his viewers can relate to him. It's more than just playing a game on screen. You have to also be a human being. Then he translates to the next ever trend, which, of course, I mentioned earlier, is Pokemon. And that kind of seals his channel. Those are his main items. Mario, Pokemon, and Zelda. He's hitting all the major Nintendo ever trends with his unique angle. This is why he's blown up. We know that that's a path to success for a lot of creators, is to hit the Nintendo ever trends, as we call them.
This is great. So, okay. So let's take a step back here. So this guy went from making total fail content, Little Big Planet, for 2 years, 2016 to 17. Then he switched to Mario Odyssey, 2017, 2018, started getting a little bit of traction. Then he tested out a new format of doing a challenge video playing Mario Odyssey, and it blew up. He then dropped everything and doubled down on that concept back to back to back to back to back. And then his numbers on YouTube and Twitch started skyrocketing. Once he figured out that this challenge format, where it's all about him playing a game and overcoming some sort of form of adversity, once he found the format that works on his channel, not just the game, the format, which is challenge content, him overcoming a challenge, then he could take that format and expand into multiple games at that point. So this is the progression that we talk about all over and over and over again for gaming channels. You have the phase 1, experimental phase. Most of your videos suck and don't do well. Eventually, one of those experiments works. Phase 2, double down on that experiment and grow off of it. Phase 3, once you figure out what your format is for your channel, then you can expand again to multiple games. You got it? We talk about this over and over and over again on the channel, and here is yet another example of yet another creator doing this exact same content strategy progression from 0 to massive over and over again. Don't just take our word for it. SmallAnt did it, and he grew his viewership. And you know another great way to grow your viewership and to also pay the bills on your podcast? Be sponsored by Restream.io, of course. I'm going to link in the description or on the stream to you guys. We are currently restreaming on multiple platforms. It is the fastest way to grow. Right now, we have viewers on Twitch, on DLive, on Facebook, on YouTube, and Periscope. Hey, everybody. And if we were only streaming on one of those platforms, like Periscope right now, we'd have 20% of the total viewership that we currently have on the podcast this second. But because we're streaming on all of these platforms at the same time, Restream is helping us grow faster. So thank you to everybody watching on all platforms. We recommend to everyone to Restream to grow as fast as possible as a streamer, especially when you're in that phase 1 as a streamer, trying to figure out what's going to work for you. I mean, what's faster, Perrin? Streaming on one platform to see what's going to land? Or streaming on all platforms to see what's going to land? I mean, you're going to get way more data and way more feedback from audiences a lot faster, right? That's exactly what you did, right?
So you mentioned data, and that's the whole point. You guys got to think of this from an analytical perspective, okay? When you're trying to find what works, you need to put out as many tests as possible to get as much data back as possible. And if you're only doing that on one platform, you're hamstringing yourself, and you're actually making your creator journey take that much longer because you're just gathering less data overall. You have to gather more and more data so that then you can make informed decisions on what's going to work. I love SmallAnt as an example. I want to go back to one thing you said here, AWOL, about the format, because I feel like this is a huge revelation for a lot of creators, and this is one of the biggest mistakes I see gaming creators do. Even I still do this sometimes, as I think that, if I just find the right game, that's what I need to do. Then that'll be like my trend, and then I can hammer down on that and focus on that. But it's not just finding the right game, it's finding the right format. And this is exactly, when we look at the journey of SmallAnt, this is what we take away. I think this is his main crucial thing to success. The thing that he learned after gathering data was, it's the format, because he didn't stop playing Super Mario Odyssey. He still played Super Mario Odyssey for like 3 years, but it was how he presented Super Mario Odyssey to his audience and how he made himself a part of that equation is what he had to figure out. So consider in your journey, instead of trying to find that game that's going to make it work for you, consider maybe along with that, finding the format that your audience is going to be receptive to, and sending out your testers on as many platforms as possible, because it might not be receptive on Twitch right away, which it wasn't for SmallAnt. It wasn't receptive on Twitch for SmallAnt until he started YouTubing, by the way. If he had figured out this revolutionary change and didn't do YouTube, he would have never have known its ability for success, because he wasn't planting the seed on the right platform.
That's right.
You have to be spreading yourself out there. I always think of it as like planting seeds in multiple different places, because you don't know which plant is going to grow, and you need to have them everywhere to figure out where you need to shift your focus. So this is why I know we hit restream a lot, but it's so crucial in the data gathering state, which if you're a small creator or even a small to medium sized creator, you are still in the data gathering state. You should still be thinking, where is my format, and where is my traction going to be? I need to find that, and by planting testers everywhere. Just wanted to bring that out because I feel like 99% of gaming creators are stuck in a rut, and that's why they're stuck. Is they're looking for that one game that they'll make it big on.
The magic golden ticket game. What's that golden ticket game?
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist anymore. It used to. It does. I'm telling you guys, it does not exist anymore. There's no magical game you pick that will just blow you up. It does not exist. If it did exist, we would have found it here. We've tried this thing for over 10 years. We work with so many creators. I'm telling you, that magical golden game that will blow you up does not exist anymore. It's the format. So remember that if you take away anything from SmallAnt's example here.
I would like to share one other example with you guys to double down on what Perrin just said. I just consulted with a client who's a professional esports caster 2 days ago, and one of the bigger mobile gaming YouTubers out there. And our discussion started with him asking me about, well, what game should I cover? I'm stuck covering this one mobile game. What other games should we look at? I immediately moved the conversation about talking about which games he should be covering in the future, because he's been stuck trying to go after games and testing games. He's tested 20, 30 games, and we started talking about content formats and the overall programming concept for his channel as a shift. And so what I mean by that is SmallAnt did challenge videos on his channel. That was the shift, not the game. Some channels can shift towards list videos, top 5s and top 10s as the format on their channel. Other channels can shift towards doing video essays as the format on their channel. Others can shift towards doing pure tutorials and guides only. Think format, and test different formats. A lot of you guys are banging your head up against the wall saying, I've tried this game over and over again and the game isn't working, but you only did one content format. And so many of you gamers out there do the same format. Does this sound familiar? Hey, yo guys, it's Gamer XYZ here in the house. And today I'm going to show you this build I'm doing in the game. And then I'm going to show it off to you. Are you ready? Let's go. Here's the build, A, B, and C with the build. Now let's jump into the gameplay. And then you do the gameplay and the video ends. And you wonder why your audience retention is 25%. Because you're doing the same format as every other jackwad on the internet. Mix it up, do challenges, do list videos, do video essays, do something different with your video format, and stop thinking that your build is genius. Stop thinking your gameplay is genius. Stop thinking your let's play is genius. Stop thinking that you're so charismatic that you're gonna carry this content doing the same thing as everybody else. Mix it up. Mix it up, mix it up, do new formats. Perrin, any final thoughts for us?
I mean, trying new things is very much what you should be doing as a new to medium-sized creator. If you're still new and medium-sized, you haven't hit your groove, you should always be doing new things. That's why we have the 80-20 rule. If you're not familiar with the 80-20 rule, or you haven't been around for our previous episodes where we go through it, that's where you try 80% of what you're doing that's working, so you don't maybe mess up any sort of traction you do have, but you always carve out 20% of your time, 20% of your channel to try something new, to try to spread and diversify and find the traction, the format that's going to work for you. So 80-20 rule, trying new things, new formats. Don't bank up for the golden game. It doesn't exist.
Cyberpunk. I'm gonna Cyberpunk.
Everyone thought Cyberpunk was going to be the golden game, even if that game like nailed its success and nailed its launch, which it didn't. Even if it did, it would not have blown up any creators now. I'm telling you guys, that doesn't exist, so don't waste your time. So yeah, try new things, new formats, learn from other creators as well, like SmallAnt, and go through and study them like we do. Go through, look at Twitch Tracker. We looked at Twitch Tracker today, his stats there. We looked at Social Blade, his stats on YouTube. We just look at his historical YouTube feed on videos and see what he's done, get an idea of what the thumbnails look like, study what the other successful creators have done, and replicate their ideas if you're having trouble coming up with your own. And that's a good place to start.
Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next episode on Monday. Adios, creators. Go do the things we said. Don't just listen.